I'm
Are we
gonna
recording now?
yeah. I haven't quite figured out, you know. And
Okay, we can start over.
hi there, my name is Joseph Enas. This is Spanish Panama. I'm Argentina, right in the heart of Panama City. I'm going to talk to Emily Walker.
Hello.
She is from
Canada and also the United Kingdom.
and the beautiful city of Vancouver too. Yeah, okay, that's what I've heard. And you've been doing something spectacular, so I was very impressed. And tell me about how you found Panama, why you're here.
Yeah, so right now I am about 6 months into an overland journey. We started in Canada and our ultimate destination is Argentina. I have a couple of months in the middle now while my boyfriend's gone back to work in Canada, and so I thought, let's do some Spanish and get to know Panama a bit more. Yeah, so we're kind of in the middle before we ship to Colombia.
Can you name the places or the countries you've been to so far? So you've come from Vancouver by camper.
Yes, exactly.
And I hear that it's a really nice camper.
It is, yes.
And I wouldn't mind living there rather than my home right now.
It's pretty nice. It's very comfortable to travel with your own bed, actually.
Yeah,
it's pretty nice.
yeah.
But so we went through the States, Mexico.
Which states?
We did a bit of a weird thing because we wanted to get some work done on the van in Calgary.
Oh, okay.
So we dipped down through the States and went back up because there were some floods happening in British Columbia at the time. So it was about minus 30 in Calgary when we went to go get some work done on the van. And then we came down and we went to Oregon for Christmas. I have a friend there in Portland. Made our way over to Vegas for New Year's Eve, which was, I think, probably one of the only places that was open for New Year's this past year. And then made our way to Mexico, where my dad was. Actually, he's moving there this September. And so
what place in Mexico?
He's going to move close to Guadalajara, but we were close to Puerto Vallarta. Yeah, and so we were in Mexico for 2 months.
Oh, okay.
And really loved that. I could definitely spend much longer. There's all the different states, cultures, food. But yes, that was wonderful, and then continued on to Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, and then Nicaragua, and that's where our van actually broke down for a bit. And so we were stuck in Managua for a week, but we thought it might be longer. And then because of that, we only had 1 day to cross Costa Rica. So we actually did 2 borders in 1 day. And then, found ourselves in Panama. And I thought, you know what, I haven't been in a city for a while. Maybe it'll be nice to kind of hang out in Panama City for a bit.
So you have to. So your boyfriend's away for a few months.
Yeah.
So he's gonna come back. Okay. And why did you choose to learn Spanish here in?
Yeah. So I think I was kind of looking for some like city action, I guess, somewhere with some good restaurants, and quite a modern city. So I think, you know, a lot of Central America, the capitals aren't so nice, to be honest. But I knew that I heard that Panama City is a really nice modern capital. So it's kind of like a break from, you know, more rough again, maybe. So it was just kind of a chance to refresh and.
And you told me you got an Airbnb right across the road, coincidentally from where I live.
Yes.
So you see me through the balcony every day.
Yes, exactly.
No, but this neighborhood, we're 2 blocks from Spanish Panama. So what do you think of the neighborhood in the Argentina area?
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, the cafes are epic. I think I haven't seen nice cafes like that in a very long time too. And so if you want to just go hang out there and do some work or read or whatever for a bit, that's really nice. I've been to a few restaurants around here too that are really good.
And your favorite restaurants?
What's my favorite restaurant? I mean, Malagueños, obviously. Really cool.
The flamenco dancing. Did you see the flamenco dancing?
I didn't go yet, but I still have some time.
Can you give us some information about that platform you're using to travel by camper?
Oh, the app.
Yeah, what's the name of that? Because that way people might really want to do this someday, travel this way by camper all through North America, and you're going to end up in Buenos Aires, right?
Eventually.
6 months later, this is great.
That's the idea. So there's a couple things that have been helpful. I guess iOverlander is the main app, and it's free. It's kind of like a wiki, so it has places to stay, eat, where to fill your water. Information about borders, which can be really useful, because often at the borders there's these people who are helpers, looking for a tip or something, and so on the app people talk about all the steps that you actually have to do and how much it actually should cost.
That's great.
Which is helpful. Really and then another resource that we've used a lot is a Facebook group called the Pan American Travelers Association.
Oh, Pan American Travelers Association. Okay.
And so it's people past, present, and future who are doing this trip or want to do this trip.
From here, when you're ready to go, I understood you're taking a ship. The ship is because there's no land route from Panama to Colombia.
Exactly. I mean, people do it every month, don't they? But it's not very safe.
Taking the land route. No, but if you're in a camper, you can't.
No, exactly. I think maybe if you had a 4x4 and some guards or something, you could do it. But it's not really possible. So you have to put it on a container ship. There's no ferry either.
And it goes from where to where?
So I think it goes from Cologne to Cartagena.
Let me ask you a question that I really want you to be honest about this question.
Yeah.
This is your time. What's your best experience since you left Vancouver, and what's your worst experience? It's always be honest.
Yeah.
What's your best experience? Yeah.
What's been my best experience? I think just a lot of the beautiful nature I've seen. I think along the way there's so many cool volcanoes, for instance, which is not the most common thing to see, in many countries. And so from like hiking up and camping next to a volcano to looking into a volcano where you could still see the magma. I was in Guatemala and Nicaragua. It's pretty impressive. And then maybe worse, I think the breakdown was pretty rough because it really put me into overdrive of like, how are we gonna?
Not really gross.
What do we have to do? So there's kind of all these different things going on in my head of like, what does this mean? That was stressful, but it was manageable. Like it's, we were okay. It's not like we were in an accident. It was just kind of stressful.
And the people you've run into on your trip from Vancouver to here, all good?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I mean, there's been a couple of funny little interactions, like I told you before about.
That's the one we want to know about.
That's the only one, though. I can't really think of, to be honest, I can't think of anything else. Everyone else has been lovely, really welcoming.
What was that one again?
That one,
We are here now.
Yes, we are here now, yes. In the north of Mexico, it's a tricky area, I think, especially close to the border.
Yeah.
And we were driving along, and it looked like there was sort of a roadblock that looked pretty official. There was some men in uniform in the median, and there was someone on the side who was kind of waiting for us to come over. So we ran around because they were holding up a rope, which they often do in this part of Mexico.
Wow.
Sometimes it's the townspeople just looking for a peso or something or whatever it is. But yes, this guy wanted us to come over, and I opened the window a little bit, and I was like, oh, who are you? Are you police? And he said, no, I'm a Sinaloa cartel. Opened the door, and I was like, maybe not. No. And then actually at this time there was another camper van, not with us, but they were traveling behind us. I guess it just kind of happened to be from the States, and so they pulled over at the same time, and we were talking to someone else. And he just kept asking me to open the door. Where are you going? I said, oh, I'm on the beach, just to be kind of vague. And eventually I just said, oh, sorry, we have to go. And then we drove off, and I saw at the same time in the kind of side mirror that the American camper as well followed behind us.
Did you have to give them money?
No.
Nothing like that? Okay.
No, there was a couple stops where you kind of had to if you didn't want to be held there until the evening, basically.
They're just making up stuff.
Little things. The most expensive we had to pay for an unofficial toll was $10.
Right. So that would be under the category of your advice for future travelers. Something to do with how would you have avoided things like this on your travels? These are the dangerous situations that people are the most uncomfortable with.
Yeah, I think in that situation, driving during the day is always good. I wouldn't pull over unless they are definitely looking official. I was in the passenger seat, but I was like, I don't think we need to stop for this guy. Let's just keep going. But my boyfriend was like, let's just see what he wants.
Right.
And so I think unless someone's obviously in uniform, we haven't been pulled over any other time in every other country. So it's very unusual, I think, now with the, everyone has dash cams now.
Right.
And everyone has their phones with them. So there's a lot less bribes happening. I think, and requests for bribes from police because they're scared that you have your dash cam.
That's a good idea for people traveling then.
100% get a dash cam.
Excellent dash cam and excellent cameras and get it going like that. Right. Because people will be afraid.
Even an internal dash cam and one going external. We actually had a story of a couple who's traveling like us, and the cop who got a bribe out of them ended up chasing them down to give back the money because he realized they had a dash cam and he was worried. I think with Facebook Live or Instagram Live, I think they're a lot more.
People are scared of that now. So because it's hard to get away with things.
Yes, it's a lot harder.
If the traveler has cameras. Your level of Spanish is very good. You seem to be studying all over the place.
Yeah.
And you have a good history of Spanish study, and your level is now C1. And your advice for people who come here to learn Spanish, do you have any tips, pointers, or how to approach learning Spanish? Yeah,
absolutely. Don't be worried about making mistakes. I think my earlier studies, you kind of are just overthinking things so much that it trips you up. But I think for me, the purpose of my Spanish is to communicate. So if you're communicating and you're moving along, that's great. I think also in your free time, if you're having a down day watching Netflix or something, put it in Spanish. Even if it's in English, I put Spanish subtitles just so you're always kind of soaking it in. We stay also, I'm staying with this Panamanian couple.
Okay, great.
And so more immersion. So you have your immersion in class, but also outside of class. Okay. Just try to immerse yourself.
And you and your boyfriend are traveling together, and you think it's safe for families to travel all this way to North America, South America?
Absolutely.
In campers,
absolutely. Things can happen anywhere.
Whichever,
in any country, any city. My only bad experience was in Paris that I've had ever traveling, and I've been to almost 60 countries now. So if you know, everyone goes to Paris, and that's the only place in the middle of the day.
And those French people, you know.
Oh yeah, totally. You know,
Just joking.
No, but I think you have to take precautions, of course, and things could happen, but really, if you're prepared, you're not driving at night, not because anything bad's going to happen because of other people, but there's animals on the road, or unmarked speed bumps, or...
It makes sense. Nighttime is always a trickier time. That's the time when, you know, cameras don't work so well, and the bad people are under the influence and out and about.
Exactly, yeah, totally. But we met other families, and I mean, I'm jealous of these kids' childhood. Like, like that's amazing. They're doing world schooling, or
And now you and your boyfriend are going to go back to Vancouver?
Maybe.
Oh, okay. Just keep on. Take that camper across the Pacific and move on.
Well, I was living in London for the last 8 years, so I think we're gonna kind of see how.
So what do you do to be able to travel like this?
Yeah, so I work. Well, before in London, I was working in real estate acquisitions, kind of as an analyst. And then when I quit my job to go travel, they asked if I'd like to stay on remotely part time, which is wonderful. So I've been doing that, and then I've also been doing a bit of English tutoring online, actually, remotely. So with a combination of those two, plus savings from being locked down for 2 years. Because normally I'd be trying to travel lots when I was living in London, but I couldn't go anywhere for 2 years. So.
It's been wonderful to have you here at Spanish Panama.
Yeah, thank you.
And we're finished.
Yeah, all right.
Just about. The wonderful Emily.
Yeah. Ciao.
Ciao. Be funny now, the video didn't work.
You want to check?
The battery's gone, the camera's, you know.
You want to check?
No.
You said it.
Because I don't want to look at my face.
Okay, we'll check.
Oh my God, if it isn't, no big deal, you know, no big deal.
That's okay.
Yeah.
It was just a, what do you call it, dress rehearsal.
Oh my, don't tell me it was only 27 minutes.
No.
What? Seemed like a lifetime.